Today we're going to look at another Russian composer. This is Modest Musorgsky, and he was born in 1839. He died in 1881. But he's one of Russia's most original composers. He was born in a wealthy family of nobility. He started piano lessons young at age 6. His mom started teaching him by the time he was 13. He entered the cadet school of the guards. His family was big into military, so he had to join too in St. Petersburg. And the school is very harsh and very difficult, and there is some thought that that might have started his actual drinking problems from trauma way back then. Although his mom had started him with piano lessons, his actual musical life really didn't start until sometime in the military. He met with a composer named Alexander Musorgsky, who introduced him to some cultural and very importantly to other people like Balakirev, who mentored him and started showing him music of all different styles, not just piano, but like orchestral, quartets, and showed him all the different modern styles that were happening at the time. In the year 1858, he had left the military to focus his life completely on music. Now, when he first started composing, his music sounded very European, like all the other music. It was original, but it was similar in style to all the other stuff. And also, he had a lot of personal struggles, and so that slowed this down. By the mid-1860s, for financial reasons and other reasons, he started teaching himself. He was working government jobs. He lived in very crowded apartments. But that was okay. He really loved the new art. He was becoming good friends with other composers and artists and really dove into that lifestyle. In 1869, he started working on his opera called Boris Godunov. And it took a while, but by 1874, so this is 5 years later, it finally premiered. Now, it wasn't like a great success right away, but it did end up, and it was actually the highlight of his career in a way. And it defined Russian opera. However, after this great success, his life started declining. He lost into touch with his friends. He lost a bunch of friends. His life kind of fell apart. Some friends just died and moved away. He started drinking, and it became worse and worse. He still wrote some great pieces, though, but he was truly embedded in his alcoholism. Because of this alcoholism, by 1881, his whole life had collapsed. He was just in very, very bad health. One of his friends was a famous portrait artist, and he made a famous painting with Musorgsky with a red nose. And this was painted just days before he died at the young age of 42. The thing that stands out about Musorgsky is not just that he was a great composer, but how he felt about Russia. He didn't want to be another European composer or any regular composer. He really wanted to strive to make it Russian only, feeling Russian, being Russian. All about it was like very Russian nationalist. He was so proud to be a Russian. So because of this, he used a lot of melodies that you would find in traditional Russian folk music. These things set everything else apart from the traditional trajectory of European classical music because the tunes had unusual rhythms and scales. They were more like speech-like patterns, following the speech pattern of Russian language. The operas were telling stories not of like princes and princesses in faraway lands. No, they told stories of Russian people in Russia having a Russian life. His music gave voice not just to the elite, not just to the noble, even though he was noble-born himself. No, he believed that Russia was about the people. And so his music was the same thing and gave voice to the peasants, gave voice to the workers, to the outsiders, to those that were not in the top 1%. So in his own way, Musorgsky's nationalism really showed in his melodies, in his subjects, and his rejection from the European rules. He wanted his music to sound purely Russian, look like Russian, sound like Russian, maybe even smell like Russian, speak Russian. He didn't want to imitate anybody, but he definitely did not want to imitate European styles. He wanted to just be Russian.